It's Tuesday, July 15th.
You're back on tariffs. You're on a more friendly tariff, right? A little bit more friendly.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and his cabinet talking about tariff threats today. But U.S. President Donald Trump says he's done talking.
This is expected to go on for a number of years, so it's just not sustainable. So I decided that I'm going to have to close the store.
Tough times. The owner of a duty-free shop in New Brunswick says sales have flatlined because of the U.S. trade war.
Sooner the better for everybody here.
Living in limbo, thousands of people from Manitoba want to go home, but they can't because of active wildfires burning across the province.
Our kayak was floating across the basement.
Some people living in Montreal's East End who are barely done flood repairs from last year are cleaning up all over again. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
And I'm Kelsey McEwen. Are you sure?
I don't know. And I was like, yes, I
Question
am.
mark at the end of that.
Yes, full stop. Lindsey Deluce. I do the news, so let's do that now. Prime Minister Mark Carney is meeting with his cabinet today to talk about a U.S. trade deal that President Donald Trump suggests is already done.
The deals are already made. The letters are the deals. The deals are made. There are no deals to make. The people on the other side.
Interesting. Speaking at the White House, President Trump said tariff letters sent to trade partners, including Canada. Those are the trade deals, he said. That letter sent to Ottawa threatens a 35% tariff on Canadian goods. Despite President Trump's comments, Prime Minister Mark Carney has said Canada is still working toward a new August 1st deadline to come up with a trade and security deal. The EU, Japan, Mexico, and other U.S. trade partners are facing that same August 1st deadline. A family visit in New Brunswick has turned into a nightmare for a longtime New Hampshire resident.
It's terrible. It's, everything in my life is essentially put on hold. But my primary concern right now is, how's my family going to survive at home without me?
Chris Landry is stuck in Canada right now after U.S. agents denied him from returning to the U.S. So here's the backstory. I mean, he's lived in New Hampshire since he was 3 years old. Landry has a green card. He has a job in the U.S. He says border agents told him he couldn't enter because of a cannabis conviction nearly 20 years ago. Landry is now working to clear those old charges so he can get home to his partner and his 5 kids. He's got 5 children. Landry also says he never applied for citizenship because he's a third-generation green card holder, but says he does plan to apply if it means he will be allowed back into the U.S. The owner of a duty-free shop in New Brunswick is being forced to close his store.
They look to support the exporters. Everything we sell is exported to the United States. Every single last item. We are an exporter, and we should get that support. But here we are.
Yeah, so here's the story here. John Slip is the owner of the Woodstock duty-free shop in Belleville. In New Brunswick, he has no choice but to shut down because of plummeting sales, a drop in Canadian travelers, and a lack of support from Ottawa. The store has been in his family for 40 years. The Frontier Duty Free Association represents 32 shops across the country, and it says many of its members have seen revenue drop between 60 and 80%. It's a lot. They've also joined 15 border town mayors in calling for financial support from Ottawa. In other news, one of the 4 suspects accused in an alleged Quebec extremism plot is being released on bail. So Matthew Forbes, an active member of Canada's Armed Forces, was granted bail under a long list of conditions. The Crown opposed bail for the other 3 suspects who are facing terrorism charges. It is alleged the 4 suspects plan to start an anti-government community north of Quebec City using social media to recruit people. The Crown will give the defense a summary of its case next week. Officials in Manitoba say cooler temperatures and rain have helped crews battling a wildfire threatening Thompson.
We've had some pretty decent weather to assist us in the firefighting effort, so we're quite confident in the protections that we put in place between the fire and the city of Thompson.
However, despite some good progress, Manitoba is preparing for potential evacuees. There are already 12,000 people from 8 Manitoba communities living elsewhere right now because of evacuation orders. The newest evacuees are from Garden Hill First Nation. That community is unreachable by road, so they've been flown. These people have been flown to Winnipeg with help from the Canadian Armed Forces. There is also help on the front lines. Fire crews from Australia, New Zealand, and Mexico all pitching in. Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with the incident response group today to discuss the wildfire situation across Canada. People living in an East End Montreal neighborhood are cleaning up from the second major flood in 2 years.
I'm like, what are the odds? Having 2 major floods in a year, this doesn't happen. I'm pretty sure I can win the lottery, it's easier.
So this family living on Belmont Street, oh my goodness, look at their home. They had just finished renovations on their basement in May. It was part of repairs from flooding last August. Other people in the neighborhood are also facing a second round of repairs in 2 years after almost a month's worth of rain fell over a few hours on Sunday. Montreal's mayor says the city will make more flood-proofing investments in the East End, but she says the province will have to help cover some of the costs. The beer store is closing 10 more locations in Ontario, with 5 of those in the Greater Toronto area. So here are the locations. There's some in Toronto, Burlington, Hamilton, Unionville, Deep River, Northbrook, Ottawa, Ridgetown, and Sioux Lookout, all scheduled to close on September the 14th. The beer store says all efforts will be made to support employees through the closures. It's not clear how many people will be let go or if they'll be moved to other stores. Nearly 60 beer store locations have been closed or are scheduled to close across Ontario this year. Police in New York have caught 4 young people doing this. You're probably familiar with it. It's called subway surfing. So it's become a big problem in New York. There is a drone team actually dedicated to catching these subway surfers. So these 4 boys you're looking at, they're between 12 and 16 years old, 12 years old. They were spotted by the drone. The train was stopped at the next stop. They were all caught. New York Transit officials say they've actually stopped about 200 subway surfers since 2023. Messi's iconic goal in the 2009 Champions League final is being made into art.
So this artwork is using Leo Messi's 2009 specific goal in his life that he believes his best memory. So what we are seeing here is an AI interpretation of his emotions, of his memory specifically.
Lionel Messi chose this goal specifically for the piece. The piece, it's called Living Memory, Messi, a Goal in Life. Will be auctioned off. It is expected to sell for about $1.5 million. Yeah, the person behind it says the art is a mix of sport, technology, data, AI, all rolled into one. And this is cool. Proceeds from the sale will go to several nonprofits. Speaking of money, 2026 World Cup tickets are now available for sale. What's the price? Let's just say, if you have to ask, you cannot afford it. The first round of tickets are for luxury packages. I weirdly did a deep dive on this last night. So they start at $2,500 a game. They go as high as $40,000. Yeah, but this is the luxury package. The general tickets are not for sale yet. For all of that, you get the food, you get access to VIP lounges, prime seats. More affordable ticket options will become available later. Vancouver and Toronto are hosting 13 games.